welcome to our gentler yoga practice. Thank you for being here, yogis. Today's practice is going to be based around this idea in yoga of non-attachment or non-possessiveness. And we'll work through that a little bit in the beginning with our breath work and with our mind work. We're going to move into our practice, which will be a mindful practice with options, lots of options today. And I'll just ask you to really detach from the idea of making your practice perfect today or even pushing too hard today, and really just come back into a space that nourishes you on your mat today. Okay? So let's go ahead and start lying down on our mats. Go ahead and just lie on down, and we want to be in what we would call a constructive rest sort of position. So you might choose to bend your knees if that feels really nice on the low back. If lying down doesn't suit you, feel free to take a meditative seat. You could also stretch your legs out and just let your arms kind of fall away from the body like you would for Shavasana, okay? Just begin to really come into your space. Say to yourself, now is the time for my yoga practice. This is my sacred time, my sacred space. With your eyes closed, begin to witness the breath. See if you can relax your jaw here a little bit and just calm down into this space. And now really begin to slow the breath down. So deepen your inhales, nice long inhale breath. And deepen your exhales. We want to find the belly rises. On the inhale breath, the belly falls. On the exhale breath. So we know that yoga is not about the shape or the fitness of the body. It's about training and disciplining the mind for self-realization. The sutras tell us that the mind alone is the cause for all the suffering, and the mind alone is the solution to end the suffering, and therefore for the yogi, the realm of inquiry has to be the mind. And our mind will tell us to hold on and be possessive of things, of thoughts, of emotions, physical things. It will tell us to be scared of losing out and losing things that we might have. So with your breath, begin to just exhale with a willingness to let go this afternoon or today. Inhale with a willingness to discover whatever you might be holding on and gripping too tightly to. Many of the things that we might be holding on to today, we might be doing it subconsciously, or we might not realize the impact that that gripping on is having in our lives. Exhale your need to control, and inhale your need to be free. Good. Now simply tuck the knees in towards the chest here. And begin to just hold the knees in for a moment. See if you can wrap your arms around the legs a bit. If not, that's okay. Just holding the knees is fine. But just imagine giving yourself a hug. Tell yourself it's okay to let go. Now inhale, take both legs up into the air. Take a moment to point and flex your feet a couple of times here. And then we'll stop and hold with our feet flexed, toes back towards us. Gently release the feet back down to the earth, knees bent. And just begin to take a scan from the top of your head out to the edges of the body, out to your fingertips and down through your feet. Where do you feel a little discomfort or even pain, tightness or tension? Maybe there's several places, then we can just focus on where do we feel the most amount today. And sometimes that's just physical, and that's fine. Could be injury, could be tight muscles. Other times, and frequently without us recognizing, it's where we're holding some of our stress, some of our past hurts, traumas, worries, fears. They get held up in the body subconsciously. And just be willing to recognize that that could be something that's going on here. Just breathe into that space, wherever it is in your body, and when you exhale, say it's okay to let it go. Nice work, guys. Draw your right knee into your chest. Send your left leg all the way down the mat. Flex your left foot. Send your right knee out to the right and begin to circle gently through your right hip. And take it back the other direction. And bring the right knee back to center. Picking the left leg up nice and strong. Straight leg lifted all the way back up into the air. Bend the left knee. Both knees to the chest. Sweep the right leg all the way down to the earth. Flex the right foot. Press the right leg down into the mat. Sweep your left knee open to the left. And begin to circle. You can keep your right hand to your right hip if it helps to steady you here. And come all the way back and start circling the other direction. And come to center. Nice strong pickup of the right leg. Use your core. Lift the right leg straight up in the air. Bend the right knee. Both knees meet at the center. And then roll your way onto your right side. And just take the fetal position for a moment. And then gently press your way up to seated. And we're going to come to easy seated pose on our mats. Rooting down the sit bones, lifting up nice and tall through the spine, softening down through the shoulders, releasing the palms onto the lap, palms face up today. So face up can be receptive, but face up can also be handing it over, giving it away. So we'll sit for a moment, palms face up, eyes closed. Picturing in the palms of our hands that which we could let go of or let loose a little bit of our grip on. And just breathe into this space. The Reverend Jesse Lee Peterson said, "The spiritual life is always about letting go. It's never about holding on." And maybe as you begin to feel this willingness to let go, there's a sense of grieving that can come with it. Maybe it's a habit you've held on to and looked to as a safety net your whole life, or an emotion that has justified your actions, but you know it's time to loosen the grip. And with it comes a sense of sadness, but we must grieve and let it go to make room for the new. Inhale into the idea of making space for hope and for something that better serves you. Good. Let's exhale, gather the hands together at your heart center. Plant the seed of this practice, of this intention, non-possessiveness, non-attachment, being free. Inhale, sweep the arms up overhead. Take your gaze all the way up. Exhale, hands to your heart center. Tuck your chin to your chest. Stretch out through the back side of the neck. Inhale, sweep the arms all the way up overhead. Exhale, chin to chest. One more time. Inhale. Exhale. This time, inhale, take the arms up, and exhale, bowing forward and just releasing. Palms can be face up on the bow forward. As we begin to move in our practice, we're going to start to think of a lot of these motions as sweeping, cleaning house, freeing up some space, letting go that which doesn't serve us. Let's inhale, reach all the way back up overhead. And exhale, hands down. Great work, guys. Come onto your hands and knees, tabletop position. Wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. Take your time getting there. Lengthen out through the spine. Draw the navel in. Good. As we warm the spine here with our cat-cow, feel free to just close the eyes down. Use your Ujjayi breath. Connect inward to your highest source. Inhale, drop the belly. Pull your heart through. Lift your gaze, widen through your sit bones. And exhale, round the spine, chin to the chest, drop the tailbone. Inhale, and as you do, think about shining your heart forward. And exhale, as you do, think about just creating great space in the spine, each and every vertebrae opening up. Keep moving at the pace of your breath. Begin to recognize that all that you already have, it never really belonged to you anyways. Everything belonged to the universe, or whatever word you want to use there. You could use God if you like, whatever speaks to you. Keep moving, keep breathing. And in that sense, it's given to us on loan to use it for the best life we could have here, for our personal growth and development. And then we offer it back. Never holding on too tightly. Go ahead, come back to your flat back. Beautiful job, you guys. Set your hips all the way back down to your heels. Stretch your arms long. Place your forehead to the mat if it'll reach. Take a few breaths here in child's pose. Inhale, come back to tabletop. Sweep your left foot over to the left. This is going to be at the left edge of the mat. Straighten the right leg and gently roll your body open, pressing into your left hand, reaching the right arm up into the air. We're just going to stack the shoulders here, stack the hips, stack the ribs. Use the support of the legs and feet on the mat. Reach long, head away from hips. Nice work. Now begin our first little sweeping motion here. We're going to bring this right arm, exhale it underneath the left. Inhale, reach all the way back up nice and tall. Exhale, sweep the arm underneath. Inhale, open up. 2 more times like that. Good, we can feel those obliques start to work here. Nice job. Take that right arm up into the arrow hold and sweep the right arm away from the right foot. Nice long line. Nice. Rotate the right hand back down to the mat and turn yourself back around towards the mat, torso towards mat, tabletop position. Excellent work. Sway your hips side to side. Come back to center and sweep the right foot to the right. Left leg extends out. Press into the right hand, rotate on to the right hand. And so your left toes are going to face to the left. You're reaching up through the left arm. Keep your hips active here, lifting a little bit, not collapsing. Right fingertips grip the earth and begin to exhale, sweep the left arm under the right. Reach as far as you can. And then inhale and just open back up, peeling open. Exhale, winding into this, thread the needle, and then inhale, reach. Keep the breath slow and controlled. Maybe still activating Ujjayi breath. Let's take one more. Beautiful. Hold here for another breath. Release back to tabletop. Left hand comes down, left knee comes in. Very nice. And then begin to round the hips in a circle and bring your shoulders to play too. So just begin to circle around. Doesn't matter which way you begin. We're going to do about 3 to 4, maybe 5 each direction. Loosening up the body. Loosening up our grip. Good. Go the other direction. Holding everything loosely and then letting go. There's a song you might remember. It said, hold on loosely, but don't let go. I would say hold on loosely, but when you can, do let go. Good. Come back to the center. Just breathe into your tabletop here. Tuck your toes under and set your way back as though you're coming to child's pose, but with tucked toes, and get a nice stretch through your arches. Press your hands into the mat and push back. If you start to feel a little cramp in the feet, just unwind so that the tops of the feet are flat on the mat. Otherwise, stay with your breath. Breathe back into those feet. We're going to come to our first downward facing dog. Keep the hands stretched long on the mat. Move back forward and then inhale, lift your hips up. Sit bones lift high, hips lift high, heels drop low. Shoulders roll apart and the heart comes back towards the legs. Think about pulling the front thigh to the back thigh a little bit here to pull weight into your back body. Begin to take some organic movement. You can just bend one knee and then the other if you like that. You can move your heels from side to side. If your head and neck are feeling tense here, you might even just stop and just gently move the head around. Let the head become heavy and dangly here. Good, and then we'll just find some stillness in down dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Breathe, fingertips touching down into the earth, knuckle beds pressing down, little gap under the palm. Take a slow walk forward to the top of your mat and meet me in forward fold. Let your knees bend as much as you need here to be comfortable in the fold. And then just simply tilt the sit bones a little higher. The top of the head reaches down towards the earth. The arms stay soft. Have a couple sighing out breaths here in this fold. Let anything that's just holding on to you or that you're holding on to sigh out the mouth and let it go. Audibly hearing that sound as you let go and recognizing that's your choice being activated to loosen your grip. Press your feet into the mat. Inhale, slow roll your way up to standing. Take your time, no rush. When you're arriving, inhale, sweep the arms up and leave them in this open kind of V shape. And just think of an offering here as you lift your heart into a small back bend. Pull the arms back. Lift your gaze. Shoulders stay down the back. Feel open, feel free, feel light. Exhaling, bring your shoulders over your hips. Draw the hands together at the top and bring them down to heart center. Inhale, reach the arms up overhead. Exhale, tuck the belly, reach with a long spine and forward fold. Place your hands down onto the mat and step your way back into a downward facing dog. Push the hands into the mat like you're pushing something heavy away from you as you lift your hips higher. Heavy your heels, they don't need to touch, but lengthen through the legs as though they would. Drop down to your left knee and pull your right foot forward into low lunge. Good. Line your right knee and your right ankle. Square your hips to the front of the mat. And then inhale, nice strong lift of the arms up overhead. If the balance doesn't quite allow for that today, why don't you bring your hands to your thighs and just find some support there. Your choice. Lots of options today. Pick what suits you, and just because you can do something doesn't mean you have to do it. Sometimes just pulling back is the answer. Unclench your jaw. Bring your hands down to your heart center. Spiral your belly button over to the right, and then the ribs and then the chest. You can stay here or take a little hinge. Looking over your right elbow. Find your balance. Find your breath. Inhale, lift back up. Exhale to your center. Take your hands down to the mat. Pick up the left knee, step back, plank pose. Belly is in, bum is under. Knees, chest, and chin comes next. So we lower the knees, we pour the elbows back, keep the hips high, lower the chest down, lower the chin to the earth, and then inhaling, sweep your way through to a cobra pose. Any degree, it can be a nice low cobra, or maybe a little bit larger cobra. Find your next exhale, and slowly lower your forehead down to the mat. Good, this is gentler yoga, your choice. Curl the toes under and make your way with knees or no knees into plank pose. Pull your way all the way back to downward facing dog. If your mind starts to wander during this practice, I'm going to ask you to pull back the mind. Control a little bit of the mind busyness. Bring it one pointed into our idea. Releasing, non-possessing, non-attaching. Keep focused on that in your breath. Bring your right knee down to the earth, send the left foot forward. Square the hips. Inhale, sweep your arms up overhead. Some of us might find that we're perfectionists, and that can be a way that we are holding on, attaching, possessing. That would speak to me. Exhale, hands down to your heart. Lift up through your heart. Wind your way to the left. Choose to stay here or hinge forward. Take your gaze to the floor or take your gaze up. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, unwind to center. Taking your hands back down to the mat. Pick your right knee up, step back, plank pose. Knees, chest, and chin. Slow lower to the earth. When you get there, your next inhale, sweep it into a cobra pose, however deeply in your cobra you'd like, shoulders down the back. Exhale, lower all the way down, forehead to the earth. Breathe. Inhale, find your way to plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. Very good. So this is gentler yoga. You can feel free to not do the step through we're about to do, just as long as your right foot winds up in front for this lunge. If you'd like, you'll inhale the right leg into the air and then exhale the right foot through. So one option would be to bring a knee down and step it forward, or step forward and then back. But however you like to get there, your right foot's going to be in front. Now, if low lunge works best for you, you go ahead and go there. Otherwise, we're going to move into crescent lunge this time, both toes forward, right knee over right ankle. Inhale. Good. Sink down just a bit here, pressing out through your back heel. Keep your shoulders soft. Nice work. Now I want you to take a big inhale breath with me, and then exhale, float your arms back towards the back of the mat and reach the crown of the head forward, but don't lay on the thigh. Inhaling, sweep the arms back up overhead. Exhaling with a little gusto here, sweep it back. Inhale, lift it up. How about one more? Exhale, sweep it back. Inhale, reach it up. Nice work. Bring your hands down to the mat, step back, downward facing dog. Right foot meets left, stretch out. Inhale, left leg rises. Exhale, left leg through, or however you're choosing to come into this lunge today. Hips squared, left knee over left ankle. Crescent lunge as we inhale, reach the arms up overhead. Sink the hips, lift your back thigh a little bit, activate the glute. Drishti is forward for the moment. And then we begin to exhale those hands behind us, pull in strongly at the core so we have this little hold, and stretch the spine, lengthen the crown of the head forward. And we'll go through our bit of house cleaning sweeping here. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale. Inhale, reach. Exhale. Last time. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, reach back. Inhale, reach up, hold. Exhale, hands to the ground, and step your right foot up to meet the left. Forward fold.
When we scanned our body at the beginning of practice, looking for what was maybe a little bit out of place, those discomforts, those tensions, think of this practice as putting things back in their place. Or maybe just throwing them out and tossing them because they needed to be in the garbage anyways. Good. Inhale, sweep the arms all the way up overhead. Get nice and tall. And exhale, standing mountain pose. Good. And we're going to do a little bit of balance work here today, and so it is gentler yoga. So I'm going to give you an opportunity to maybe find a wall or a chair if you'd like. And then there's a few opportunities to modify and change this posture up. So we're going to take it everywhere from simple to a little bit more difficult, and you choose what works for you, okay? But be mindful, don't push too hard. So we're going to step onto our left foot to get started, really engage the muscles, stand up nice and tall, and then inhale the right leg up into the air. And so we'd like to maybe today see if we could place the right foot ankle onto the thigh and the foot facing up, knee facing down. So option one for the balance is simply going to be hold your left hand onto the right foot and hang out right here with your balance. This is beautiful. It's a beautiful stretch and works the balance, so you've got a lot going on. If you choose, and you can, press that foot into the thigh, thigh into the foot, release the hand and let the leg stay where it's at. Hands to heart center. You can hang here. Next option, sit down and back, like you're sitting down into a chair, pulling the left knee back, putting weight into the feet, grounding down, keeping your heart high. Beautiful. Hold and breathe. Keep your heart lifted. Next option is going to be add some arms, and you can add them from up high too. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, hands to heart center. If you don't like that, keep your hands right where they're at. Inhale, reach up. Exhale. Inhale, last time. Exhale. Final opportunity to change shape here is going to be to hinge forward and place your hands to the earth or blocks. Then we'll straighten the left leg. Now again, if you're not going to take this pose, perfectly fine. Maybe you've already wanted to take a break. You can do that too. You can step right out of the pose. If you've come this far, I'm going to tell you that the fun and tricky part is coming out. So have a smile, have a little ha-ha on your end, and then bend your knee, left knee, sit back down. Begin to engage your core, lift up on the pelvic floor. If it's not going to happen, you'll release your right leg, but if you can, reach all the way back up overhead. Nice work, guys. Stand up, place the hands down, and set your right leg back down beside you. A little bit of challenge if you went all the way through, but hopefully you picked what was right for you. Now we got to do the other side. Step onto the right leg, strengthen up, soften your shoulders, lift that left leg, rotate the left knee out, and find the left foot onto the right. Now remember, we can place a nice little handhold underneath this foot the whole time. Even if we're sitting down and back, we can keep holding the foot. So that's available to you. If you'd like, hands will come to the heart center, your choice. Try to smile, have a little fun, and if you fall all over the place, laugh it off. Sit down and back. We can't be too attached to the outcome. It's a practice. Good. Inhale, sweep the arms up if you'd like. Exhale, hands heart center. Inhale, reach those arms up. Exhale, heart center. Last one. Stay where you're at if you choose, or hinge forward, keeping the glutes low, find the floor. And then once you have a grip on the floor, even if it's just fingertips, straighten out the right leg without locking the knee. If you're taking this position, you can feel how you get this lovely little massage, your foot into the quad and into the belly, into the organs. Bend the right knee, set the right hip down and back a bit. Fire up your core, lift up on the pelvic floor, reach back up. Push into the right grounded foot, lift up nice and tall, and release. Excellent. Take your feet about hip distance apart and just begin to kind of circle your hips around one direction about 3 or 4 times. You can have your hands on your hips to kind of assist and let go of any bit of little tension in those hips and glutes, especially if you created any in that activity that we just did, the standing balance work. Beautiful. Coming back to hip distance apart, standing mountain pose. Inhale, sweep the arms up overhead. And now exhale, chair pose. Good. Now we're going to kind of tuck that bum under, tuck the belly in, lengthen down through the spine, lift up on the chest and breathe. Good. I'm going to scoot back just a little bit so I don't hit my wall. All right. Here's where we're going. Take a nice big inhale. Exhale, straighten the legs, sweep the arms back, forward fold. Inhale, sit back to chair, reach the arms up. Exhale, sweep the arms back. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, sweep back, nose towards knees. Inhale, sit down, lift up. Chair pose, hold. And then exhale, forward fold. Nice work, guys. Breathe here. Hands to the mat. We're going to step our way back to plank pose. Again, gentle yoga, gentler, you get to choose. I like to call it gentler because I like to add options. So last time we tucked our knee down and went into side plank like this, and that is an option to come back to do that one more time. If you felt like that was pretty good and you're up for it, then go ahead and tuck your heels over to the left. Come to side plank with your legs up. Now, hips are going to be piked up a little bit here because we need room underneath us. We're going to move. Exhale, right arm under left. Inhale, reach up. Exhale. Inhale, find that little bit of twist. Sweep it open, sweep it under. Last one, hold. Nice job. All the way back to plank, knees down, child's pose. Breathe it out. Catch the breath, catch the thoughts. Take each thought captive. Keep the ones that serve you, but don't hold them tightly, hold them loosely. The ones that don't serve you, immediately just let them go. Remember, even though we're doing physical asana, it's to help us get into this brain stuff, the mind stuff. Yoga is not about the body, it's about the mind. It's about the spirit. Inhale, back to plank, and we're ready for the other side, your choice. You can take the right knee down or not. Heels will come to the right, right hand will stay down. Inhale, take the left arm up. Good, exhale, sweep it under. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, turn that torso towards the floor as you reach. Inhale, open, stacking hips and shoulders. Breathe. Good, last one. Awesome, hold at the top. And rotate back to plank. Nice job. Knees wide this time. Wide-legged child's pose. Set it back, let the shoulders be soft. Nice work, guys. Take an inhale breath and come back to downward facing dog. Notice if there's any tension, like I said, in the neck, you want to really let it go here. It helps to kind of traction the spine long. All right, this move is nice. We're going to move forward into a plank from our down dog and then keep sliding the heart forward. Roll over the toes, drop the pelvis down into a high cobra. Bend your elbows and slowly lower all the way down onto your belly. We're going to do some work here from our belly. So I want to make sure you can see me in the camera. I might scoot back a little bit. There we go. All right. We're going to come into what we call, okay, we're going to bring our elbows forward. Sorry. Just having a little brain problem there. So we're going to come into Sphinx pose. There it is. And draw your chest forward. So you want your elbows just underneath the shoulders, maybe a half an inch to an inch forward, no more than that. Grip the mat, grip your arms down and pull your chest through, shoulders down. So it feels like you just kind of pull that upper spine away from the hips. And then really find a nice press down of the feet and the legs here. Your gaze is slightly down the bridge of the nose towards the floor. Good. Now our change is going to be to draw the left hand in and the left elbow out just slightly so that we're paralleling the front edge of the mat. Bend the right knee and send the foot up towards your glutes. Reach your right arm back and find the foot. Now see how the right shoulder opened up? We're going to close it back off, square it up as much as we can while pulling that foot in towards the glute. So right shoulder comes back forward. Nice stretch on the shoulder, nice stretch on the quads. Half frog pose. Keep lifted in the heart just enough. Don't start to collapse. Excellent. Now slowly begin to release that right foot and switch it out. Right arm parallels the front of the mat, the elbows slightly in front of the shoulder now. Bend the left knee and sweep the left arm back, finding the foot. And again, that left shoulder is going to kind of open up and we're going to gently pull the shoulder back while we're holding the foot. I love this stretch on the front of the shoulders. We're still gazing gently down the bridge of the nose towards the floor. We're still lifting our heart high, pressing our right forearm into the mat to assist. Excellent. Slowly release the left foot. Bring the left arm back around and place it on top of the right. So the forearms are now stacked on top of each other. And then drop your head down onto the forearms. If you need to scoot them out a little bit, you can. Tummy Shavasana. So just relax for a moment here. Bend your knees, both knees bend. And then slowly begin to drop your feet from side to side. Just massaging out through the quads, releasing through the low back and the hips. A great way to start to find ourselves being able to let go, be non-possessive, non-attached, is through gratitude. Good. Bring it back to center, drop the feet down. Nice work, guys. Slowly begin to bend the elbows back towards the heels. Again, hands underneath the shoulders. Curl your toes under, and we find our way back to plank, knees or no knees. Inhale, downward facing dog. And breathe here. last breath. Nice work. Slowly lower the knees down onto the mat. And we're going to come back to a seated position. Go ahead and just take your feet together into Baddha Konasana. Root your sit bones, pull your hips a little bit towards the heels. Begin to grasp onto the ankles. And we're going to find a bit of a wave motion here. So we need to kind of know where our edge is so that we don't spill over while we move. So in order to do that, take a nice big inhale breath, and then just exhale, floating forward, hinging from your hips until it feels like, oh, I don't want to go any further, and that would be called our edge. The I don't want to go any further is right before you're going to feel pinching or pain, but after you feel a little bit of tug and pull, right in between. All right? So I found my spot. Now, take a little round in the spine and tuck the chin towards the chest and inhale, lift up. Good. Exhale, float forward. You don't have to come all the way to the edge, but you know where to not go past. Inhale, around the spine. Exhale, float forward. Like a little ocean wave. Now keep moving with your breath. Inhaling, draw back. Exhaling, draw forward. Now if you find that your edge moves as you have been moving, then you can go a little bit deeper. Let's take one more. Beautiful. Hold here, down low. Chest towards feet, crown of head reaching. You can even press those elbows into the thighs if that feels appropriate. Go ahead and let go a little bit deeper. Inhale, slowly back away and lift the heart back up. Nice work. Extend the right leg straight out in front of you. Pull the left heel in a little deeper, as far as you can for Janu Sirsasana. Square your hips if they've come out of alignment a little bit, and lift your right toes up into the air. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Shoulders plug down, tuck your belly. Exhale, fold over the right leg. Good. Lengthen your spine here. And then you can deepen the pose. The goal is not to get the nose to the knee. The goal is to lengthen the leg and the spine. Stretch out the low back. And so you might consider lifting up just a little bit, but keeping the spine long. Tug your right pinky toe back towards your right ear just a little bit here. And we're going to hold here and breathe. So unclench the jaw and just get used to the pose. Watch as your monkey mind tries to take your attention away from your breath. Take your attention away from your intention. Tries to pull you in different directions. Just watch. You can even have a little giggle when you notice it. Be like, huh, there it goes again. And then just bring yourself right back around. I'm practicing yoga. I'm bringing my mind one-pointed. I'm letting go. Nice work, guys. Let's inhale, walk the hands up the floor beside us to press ourselves back up. We were there just a little bit. Excellent work. Switch out. We're going to do the other side. Left foot comes forward, left leg roots down, right heel comes in towards groin and our hips square up. Good. Big inhale breath. Sweep the arms up, tuck the belly, exhale, fold. Now let's just say we can't get very far. That's okay. Just drop the hands down. Just fine. Wherever you're at, that is perfectly fine. It's not about the pose per se. We'll get into the position, into the shape, and then we'll let it do its work at whatever degree we came to. Stay present. Become the witness of the brain, the mind, the emotions. If the mind takes you on a journey to some place that doesn't make you really happy, recognize that as one of the things that you could work on letting go, releasing. Couple more breaths here, you guys got it. And then slowly inhale. Press away from the earth with the fingertips as you walk them back towards you. Nice work. We'll take both legs out now. Inhale the arms up overhead. We won't stay as long in this one. Exhale, fold. Forward folds, very nice place for letting go. It's very good release in the nervous system. So when we're feeling anything like tension, anxiety, fear, stress, a fold can really be helpful. Helpful in the release of those things. Inhale, look at the toes, slowly rise up. Now we're going to keep these legs extended for our greeting the earth twist. So what we do is we take both hands, twist over to the right, and then bring them a little bit behind us, okay? And then we just kind of lean down into those hands like we're going to kiss the earth, but we're not going to come down that far. We want to keep our left leg down, our left sit bone down, and just reach a little twist into the earth. Good. Press away from the earth, lift back up, come back to your center. Start with your shoulders back over your hips, twist to the left, and then find a little lean back, hands to the mat or floor behind you, and then begin to lean down into it. Bend the elbows, chest towards the floor a little bit. Keep that right hip down. And press away from the mat, lift up, and back to your center. Excellent work. We're going to come back to laying down on our backs. Now, guys, and as you come down to the mat, tuck the knees back to the chest. Give yourself another little massage on the mat. As you do, rock your hips forward slightly of the shoulders so your spine is long on the mat. And tuck the knees back towards the chest. Very nice. Begin to inhale the legs straight up into the air. And so you have the option to stay here, Or you may choose to lift the hips off of the mat, tuck your hands towards the sacrum, and take your toes back behind your head. And just begin to really round the spine a little bit here as you lift the hips a little bit so that we have a nice counter pose to some of those back bends we did earlier. If you like, you can spread your knees wide around the ears. Bend the knees. And if you've taken the feet back behind the head, as you're ready, we're going to support the back by hands there at the sacrum and slowly roll one vertebrae at a time back to the earth. Very controlled until we meet back at legs up the wall, which is where some of us might have stayed. Legs up the wall is a beautiful pose for restoration. So just holding this pose or actually getting near a wall and putting your legs on the wall while laying on the floor is beautiful. Drop the soles of the feet down. Spread your arms out wide. And with bent knees, windshield wiper from side to side. Let's move slowly here, mindfully. Good. As your knees draw to one side, pull gently down on the hips, away from the armpits. Last one each side. And come back to your center. Take a big inhale breath. Big exhale, you can sigh through the mouth. And then move your way into Shavasana. So we're going to stretch the legs down the mat here. If there's a different, more comfortable place you'd like to move to or a more comfortable Shavasana, feel free. We're going to take just a few moments to really choose to let go. Get your wiggles out and find stillness. Relax your forehead and your jaw and your cheeks and your eyes. Let your breath come very easy without any effort. And choose to relax all of your muscles. Create that same scan from the beginning of practice and see if any tension still resides. Living in non-attachment and non-possessiveness is a practice. It doesn't come easy for the human mind. It doesn't come easy for the Western mind. It's not our culture. So begin to have grace with yourself if you find spaces that are still hanging on. If there's still hurts and hang-ups and habits and all of those things, it's okay. Maybe today you loosened the grip just a little. And the next time that thing tries to hold you too tightly, you'll remember this practice. You'll be mindful and aware. And with each and every time that you loosen the grip a little bit more, you become a little bit more free. and what joy there is in our freedom. Wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, and take a few deep inhales and exhales. Begin to make your way to your right or your left side just for about 1 to 2 cycles of breath. And then gently meet me back in easy seated pose. And we're just going to take our last little bit of practice to work with some mantra before we leave each other today. And a mantra can be very powerful. It can be a word or a phrase that you repeat in your mind or even out loud 3 times, 1,000,000 times, whatever feels right to you, but at least 3 times. And when we use mantra, it's like planting a seed into our soul and into our spirit that can then come to fruition and come into light and grow. And so we want to plant only good seeds, only good mantras. The mantra today that we're going to use is, I breathe in and release worry at the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. But if the word isn't worry, whatever your word is, I release fear, I release anger, I release stress, whatever your word is, that's the word you're going to put in there when I say worry. Okay? I breathe in and I release worry at the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. I breathe in and I release worry at the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. I breathe in and I release worry at the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. You can use that mantra whenever you need to intentionally release anything that's not serving you. Bring your hands together to your heart center. Gather gratitude for your practice today, for showing up at your mat. Thank you for being with me. The light in me honors and salutes the light within you. Namaste. Thank you, yogis. Go and be free until we meet again on the mat.